Are you an animal lover? Or how about a really big animal lover? Today's a super special episode of Everything East County. We're gonna check out lions, tigers, and bears in Alpine. Let's get to it.
East County San Diego has a lot to offer. Amazing food, a rich history, tons of community events, and amazing people and organizations. I'm Kyle Whissel with Whissel Realty Group, and this is Everything East County.
We're here at Lions, Tigers, and Bears. This is a place that's been on the top of my list for a long time. So I'm excited to learn about it. Tell us a little about the park overall.
Right, so Lions, Tigers, and Bears here in San Diego County is in Alpine, and we rescue lions, tigers, bears, and other animals, provide a lifetime home. We're an education center, so you can come out and visit and learn, and we are the voice for the animals.
How long have you guys been around for?
I started Lions, Tigers, and Bears in 2002.
Okay,
And this was a cow pasture, so
Yeah.
one habitat at a time.
Okay, what inspired you to start it?
Well, I was in Texas in the early 90s and opening a restaurant, and when I was putting the equipment in my restaurant in the classifieds, I kept seeing lions, tigers, leopards for sale, and being the animal lover that I am, I answered an ad, and the lady had a mobile home on 5 acres, 30 big cats, all breeding, and babies crawling all over the living room floor, and you could buy one and take one home.
Wow.
So of course I didn't buy one and take one home, but I started volunteering and answering more ads and just became disgusted and interested, and then finally here we are.
There's so many amazing animals here. How many do you guys have total right now?
65 animals, 17 different species. Every single one is a rescue, and everyone has their story.
Beautiful. And people can come up and visit. What you guys are open 6 days a week?
We're open Wednesday through Saturday by appointment, so you just get online and pick a time.
Okay, and then people can come up, see the animals, learn. Okay.
The keepers or the volunteers will take you around to each individual animal, and you'll get to learn, what we do and why the animal's here, learn about that particular species, that particular animal, and if you want to get involved to help, how you can. Out here we have 6 American black bears. They share this habitat. There's 2 boys and 2 boys and 4 girls. This is Maddie right here. She came from Ohio. She lived in a corn crib on a hay and corn farm for about 11 years. This is Meatball. He's the famous Glendale bear. And one thing about bears, they're super smart. They always say a fed bear is a dead bear. So if you ever see a bear in the wild, please don't ever feed them. It only takes one time for the bear to lose their life. They're so smart, they continuously go back to the food source. So 3 strikes in California and they're out. So he was lucky he got to, come here.
How much does Meatball weigh?
He weighs almost 700 pounds.
Wow.
But getting him up on the surgery table is a challenge. We have 3 bears, the 2 Himalayan bears and Cherry, that were photo opportunity animals, or we call them pit bears.
Yeah.
So they're literally in cinder block pits. I'll show you a picture over here. The bears can't see out, but the public can look down in the pit, and they keep them in breeding pairs, and then they pull the babies before the eyes are open to put them up top with the public for photos.
Just so everybody can get their Instagram selfies.
So I tell everybody, don't ever do it, because there's not one legitimate place in our country that does the photo opportunities. So the animals are just discarded after they're too old to do the photos.
So where did these guys come from?
Louisiana. Yeah, from a failing sanctuary the state called us. And they literally had their cages like zip tied, and they didn't know how to shift, how I showed you how we shift. And they had babies being born, and they were pulling them out with a rake, and they were charging like $1 or $2, and the state was flipping out. And so we were gonna go there and help them, and the next thing I know, she had these 3 hiding in her bathroom. And the lions, you'll just see them put their feet in it, or we'll throw food on the island and they'll
just jump
for the
on
most
there.
part. The tigers are continuously in and out of the water. They'll go put their feet in the water, and then they'll do exactly what he's doing. They'll go on they like the cool grass and the shade.
Yeah.
And he'll sleep like 18 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, they sleep like 18 hours, 20 hours a day.
That's crazy.
It's just normal. They just eat and digest and sleep.
How long does it take you guys to build an enclosure like this?
It depends. This one took us like 8 months, because we do everything underground first, all the pipes and pool. All
right, so tell us about the big tigers.
So this is Nola, and she came from New Orleans. My friend Carney, who's an animal law attorney, actually called me about her because U.S. Fish and Wildlife had just compensated her from a rap star, and she wasn't strong enough to make the trip here. So she went to the Audubon Zoo, and they did an incredible job of getting her back to health because she was covered in ringworm. They almost lost her twice, dehydration, and probably just, improper care and nutrition. These people take the animals and they don't know what they're doing. But they got her, healthy enough, and not only healthy enough to come here, but she did a 7,000-mile rescue with us. So we picked her up first, and then we headed to Alabama, and we worked all day getting some bears out of a roadside zoo in somebody's backyard. And then we went on to North Carolina with her, and she rode with the baby bear up front. And then we moved 2 more bears and went to Colorado and made it home by Christmas Eve. So she did about 7,200 miles with us. Yeah.
She's so pretty.
Yeah. But
And
she's
so
doing really
being a
well
white
now.
tiger, she inbred also?
Yes.
Okay.
Most people don't know the way they get a white tiger in captivity is to inbreed.
Okay.
So all of them, you'll see they have cross eyes, they have bone problems. Sometimes you'll see pain. Some of them die. There's some pretty sad things when breeding the white tigers. But for a white tiger, Nola's very healthy.
All right, guys, that may have been the coolest episode we have ever done of everything East County. Lions, tigers, and bears here in Alpine, they're doing amazing things for animals. If you find it in your heart, if you are an animal lover like I am, these guys can always use your donations. They're a 501c3 nonprofit. Would love to have you give a little bit and help them out. They're doing some amazing things helping out animals from all across the world, which is truly, truly amazing. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this episode as much as I did filming this episode. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Everything East County.